The reality is, he's not going to lose. There is no way on this earth that Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua in a boxing match. Look at what he did to Francis Ngannou.
Tony Bellew didn't hold back when he cast serious doubt on the idea that Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul would ever actually meet in the ring, and his disbelief became the spark that kicked off a much larger conversation around this bizarre match.
It's insane. It's madness, but no one can knock Josh because it's just madness. I can't get my head around it, mate. I just don't believe he is going to be in the ring, Josh, with on.
The game began with Bellew, who was to wrap his head around the idea of Paul stepping to face someone like Joshua. To him, the size difference alone made him to believe Joshua was a massive head, taller, and used to competing against the men on the planet. Paul, despite over the years, is still most familiar with cruiserweight-sized opponents and crossover matchups that don't come close to what he will face against a natural heavyweight who has competed at the very top of the sport. Bellew's disbelief wasn't rooted in disrespect. He simply couldn't picture Paul standing across from Joshua on fight night with tiny gloves on, absorbing punches from a man who once held the unified heavyweight crown.
When he touches him for the first time with a pair of 10-ounce gloves on, he's going to get the fright of his life. That's me, son, mate.
Bellew kept circling back to the same point. The danger feels too real and the gap between them too large. Even when asked whether the fight would be easy for Joshua, he seemed almost confused that people were even asking. He acknowledged why the fight was happening. The business side, the financial motivations, the appeal of a spectacle. But he couldn't shake the feeling that Paul might not go through with it. In his mind, someone eventually backs out because the risk is that overwhelming. And once Bellew hammered home that he simply couldn't imagine Paul entering the ring against Joshua, it triggered a wave of reactions across boxing and beyond.
So you think this is going to be conclusively done in the first round?
I don't understand how it can't be. So, just take his chin.
But you get why it's happening, I mean, as much as...
Of course I get why it's happening.
Yeah.
Of course. For that kind of money, you'd probably fight them both at once. But, you know, fair play to them. Get paid. I told you, once you've won the titles, your desires and your dreams are fulfilled in boxing, boxing is purely about to make as much as you can, as quickly as you can. And this is ticking both them boxes off well. Well done to both. Fair play.
But you still doubt it might even happen?
You heard me the first time. I don't believe he's going to get in that ring with gloves on. No, I don't. I don't. I'm just being honest. What do you want me to say? Yeah, he is. He's going to get in. He's going to give me a hell of a fight. No, he's not. In no normal stratosphere can I imagine it. Can you?
The conversation only grew louder when Andy Ruiz Jr., the first man to stop Joshua in the professional ranks, stepped in. Ruiz has been in the ring with Joshua twice and knows exactly how it feels to trade punches with him. While he didn't dismiss Paul the way many do, Ruiz still approached things with caution. He pointed out that Paul is always chasing that right hand, the punch he relies on the most, and that if he manages to land it cleanly, he could cause some damage. Ruiz acknowledged that people underestimate Paul, but he also made it clear that this fight is nothing like the challenges Paul has faced before. Ruiz respected Paul's dedication, but he also understood the level of danger Joshua represents, especially in a sanctioned 8-round professional bout where both men have to wear small gloves that make every shot feel like a hammer to the skull.
What advice would you give to him, like, technically?
I think just having faith, man. Having faith, don't be scared, and do what you gotta do, you know? Ask God for that victory, and He will come through, and just be fearless, you know? That's what you gotta do. You gotta be fearless and give it all you got, you know?
Any secret to, like, you know, boxing a guy like
just
like
get
Joshua?
him with the right hand. That's what Jake Paul's looking for, the right hand. And if he lands, he could do good damage. So a lot of people underestimate Jake Paul, but in reality, he's a good fighter and he's dedicated, and that's what I like about him.
You get on the phone with Jake before the fight?
I haven't, but I'm gonna hit him up.
That's
and
what's up.
try to give him some little pointers on.
Meanwhile, another major voice entered the debate, Andrew Tate. Many expected him to tear Paul apart verbally, but he shocked everyone by doing the opposite. Tate looked past all the usual opinions and focused on the courage it takes to face someone like Joshua. Instead of attacking Paul, he acknowledged how bold the decision was. Tate seemed to drop whatever criticisms he previously had and chose to view Paul's choice as a sign of bravery. It wasn't the reaction people expected from him, which made it even more surprising.
Jake's the same size, and Jake isn't a YouTuber. Everyone needs to stop talking like Jake is a YouTuber. Jake is a boxer. Jake has more money than 99% of professional boxers on the planet. He has a full-time training camp. He lives with a full-time gym, full-time trainers. He's dedicated his life to the sport for nearly 7 or 8 years. That's a professional boxer. He's an ex-YouTuber. And this whole narrative, I'm just a YouTuber, is a really good sales tactic because Jake is a boxer.
Next came heavyweight David Adeleye, who had trained near both Joshua and Paul. From his perspective, Paul's biggest strength wasn't any particular punch, it was the seriousness with which he approached training. Adeleye saw Paul ask questions, push himself, and rely on elite-level support staff that most fighters would dream of having. Paul trained full-time, surrounded by top professionals who handled everything from conditioning to nutrition. Adeleye believed Paul had to put himself in the best possible environment to prepare, though he also noted that Paul wanted this fight for a reason, and that reason would soon be revealed in the ring.
I saw today Lawrence was sparring Jake Paul. Were you there as well? Or?
No, man, I'm in Dubai right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I can't remember if you were part of his camp at one point or...
I was in the gym with them.
You didn't spar him, right?
No.
So what do you think? You've obviously sparred Joshua. What's going to happen?
Good fight. You know, I'm not the worst person. I always give political answers, don't I? I just sit back. But it's a good fight. I think. And look, Jake Paul knows why he asked for AJ. So we'll see what happens December 19th, right?
What was it like when you trained with him? Did he surprise you?
Who, Jake? He's a learner. He wants to listen. He asks questions. He does dig deep. Whatever's asked of him, he tries to provide. You know, look, everyone calls him a YouTuber, but this is a man with a lot of money, so he's obviously paid for the best of everything. So he's one of the best trainers, nutritionists, chefs, S&C coaches. He's studying the sport. You know, he's a 4-time athlete now.
Paul's camp only fueled more discussion when it became clear that he wasn't just sparring random partners, he was going to war with legitimate heavyweights, including Jared Anderson. With his own career opportunities looming, Anderson still made time to step into Paul's camp to give him real heavyweight pressure. Anyone who happened to see those sessions would believe Paul wasn't just preparing for a regular fight, he was preparing for a monster. Watching him try to match that physicality of giants like Anderson showed that he was trying to simulate every possible danger Joshua could bring. Outside boxing, UFC boss Dana White shared his perspective, which got straight to the spectacle of the moment. White didn't bother with technical analysis, he saw the fight as entertainment, something people wanted to see simply because Paul was finally facing someone young, dangerous, and still in their athletic prime. To White, this wasn't about skill sets or tactics, it was about the curiosity of seeing Paul against a fighter who wouldn't be pulling his punches, and Joshua, in White's eyes, would be the first opponent who could truly push Paul to his limit.
See the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami.
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Dana over here.
David Hayes chimed in with his own view, but his angle was much simpler. He focused purely on power, and as a former heavyweight champion himself, he understood what heavyweight strength feels like and how quickly it can end a fight. He didn't dive into strategies or breakdowns, he just emphasized that Joshua's ability to generate devastating force with a single punch made everything dangerous for Paul. One clean shot could decide the whole event.
I'm a massive fan of anything that brings eyeballs to boxing, anything that gets people who may not be interested in boxing to start watching boxing. I'm for that. I want to fan that flame. I think he's going to lose, but if he can you imagine if he somehow finds a way to win?
Is it legacy damaging for AJ?
No, it won't affect his legacy. If he goes out there and knocks Jake Paul out in one round, no one's going to think of it any worse of him than before.
Tim Bradley added a psychological angle. He believed that Paul's team accepted the fight because they saw moments where Joshua looked vulnerable in recent years: injuries, inconsistent form, and lapses in confidence. Bradley understood why some might think Joshua wasn't the same fighter he used to be, but even so, he felt the gap between them was simply too big. Joshua had spent years fighting top competition, learning from world-class trainers, surviving championship rounds, and carrying the pressure of being a global figure. Bradley thought Paul was ambitious, but he didn't think ambition alone could overcome that much experience.
Oh yeah, Tim Deadstone Bradley, you already know the rest. Oh, did y'all see? Did y'all see what Mike Coppinger said? Oh, is it true? Is it real? Ooh, hey, I like this fight way better. Fake Jakey Paul and Dirty Love. They did it again. They got another guy in there that's a little bit of weak-minded. One that might even sell his soul a little bit for that money. Yeah, and go ahead and lay down for Jake Paul. Yeah, man, this is supposed to be an easy fight for a dude named Anthony Joshua, a dude that did 24 rounds with freaking Usyk, a guy that knocked out Ngannou, one of the baddest mans on the planet. Boy, this is supposed to be easy licking for him. Easy money. Shoot, if he go in there and be who he is, right? An experienced Olympic gold medalist, an experienced fighter that he is, bigger than Jake Paul, stronger than Jake Paul, got more skill than Jake Paul, he's supposed to serve Jake Paul. But if he don't go in there and serve Jake Paul, then you know what it is, guys. Yeah, our question's gonna be answered. Yeah, straight up scripted, straight up WWE. Yeah. Ain't nobody can say nothing different to me. Oh yeah, because Anthony Joshua, he's supposed to smash Jake Paul. Period. Smash him. Yeah, easy work. That's what it's supposed to be like. But if he go in there and he struggle, yeah, and he find himself on the canvas looking for a mouthpiece or something, oh man, come on now. And you know Jake Paul, he signed that NDA, he signed his little rights away and was like, oh, I'll take a dive for 40 million, no problem. I'll take a dive, I don't care. All I care about is the money. All I care about is myself. I don't really care about the sport itself. I'm over the sport, yeah, then we know, guys. But yeah, I'm definitely tuning in for this one. Oh yeah, I'll be watching closely. But anyways, yo, that's my time, and I'm Tim Deadstone Bradley, and I'm out.
Derek Chisora, who has been through countless heavyweight battles, brought things back to safety. Chisora didn't make fun of the matchup the way others did, he simply stressed that heavyweight boxing is unforgiving. He knew how dangerous a man Joshua's size could be. To him, every exchange carried risk for Paul, not because Paul lacked heart, but because heavyweight damage is on a different scale. Chisora's reaction wasn't dramatic, it was caution based on lived experience.
Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, do you think that's going to happen? And if it does, what happens?
Listen, as I keep saying to everybody, man, in the Middle East there's a war happening, yeah? In Europe there's a war happening, in Africa people are dying. So we need a bit of entertainment, and right now, this is a great fight for entertainment for us right now.
A one-round entertainment. Surely that doesn't go past one round.
We never know. You never know. But you know what? As I said yesterday, Jake Paul will be so confident to get into this fight because after you watch Daniel Dubois fight, you think you can do exactly what Daniel did. So listen, I'm up for this fight to happen, and I want to see AJ just put the lights out this young man.
100%, come on AJ.
Ryan Garcia took a more straightforward route. He believed that Paul chose the worst possible opponent he could have picked. Joshua checked every box that Paul shouldn't have gone near: size, strength, technique, experience, and finishing ability. Garcia imagined Paul learning in real time just how overwhelming Joshua could be once they were face to face. He saw very few scenarios where Paul controlled anything inside the ring.
If he could win 1 or 2 rounds, to me, that's a W. You know what I mean? So this fight is probably the worst fight that Jake Paul could have taken. Out of all the fights he probably had a choice, you know, myself, who else did they say? I forgot. The other guy, you know what I mean? That's worse. This is a big dude, heavyweight. Like, how you go from 135 to 225? Like, you know, it's gonna be difficult, but
why do you think he takes it, Ryan?
He's just addicted to doing huge fights. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he has so many options. He's always looking for the guy that can make the most noise. You know, all his picks that he's fought in the pros has been guys that have some name, whether they're UFC fighters, NBA players. You know, you want Gervonta Davis. He's small, so I know I could beat him. He's probably thinking Anthony Joshua. He gets, you know, maybe his chin is suspect. Maybe he's not even thinking about me. So I'm gonna come in and somehow hit him with my right hand because he believes that his right hand is as strong as Wilder. You know, the way he talks, like my right hand is like this. So I think he's seen Dubai. I can't say his name. Dubois.
Yeah. That's what he's thinking.
Drop his with the right hand. Oh, I could do that. Like that's my shot. You know what I mean?
What about respect though? I think Jake Paul's at a point where he wants respect because I do think he's better than what people think he is. Right now, okay. Now the stage is set. If he goes out there and battles with Anthony Joshua, we got to give Jake Paul
100%.
way more respect than we do now.
You know what?
That's the victory. Just taking the fight. If he actually steps into the ring with Anthony Joshua, that's a victory.
That's big.
Teddy Atlas added another thoughtful perspective. While he agreed that Joshua was the logical favorite, he didn't completely dismiss the idea that Paul could make things interesting. Atlas pointed to Joshua's unpredictability since the loss to Dubois, noting that long stretches without competition and a brutal knockout can create uncertainty. Nobody truly knew what version of Joshua would show up. Paul, on the other hand, was younger, active, and mobile. If Paul stayed disciplined, Atlas believed he could survive certain moments and possibly extend the fight longer than expected.
The former heavyweight champ is supposed to go and win by knockout. I understand all that, what people are thinking. But I'll tell you one thing. With all that, Joshua has been inactive. Joshua was destroyed in his last fight. I know it was against a fighter, a top fighter, not against a guy that's been fighting a couple years and has had very little background. I understand all. Teddy understands that. I just break it down, all of it. And with having said that, Joshua has been inactive. We don't know where he is mentally. We don't know where he is physically. He's been gone for over a year. We don't know. We know he's coming off a bad loss. We understand that in his last fight. And so we don't know where he's at. But we know Paul's young. We know that he's got legs. He's got a jab. Who says he can't get in there for 8 rounds and motorcycle around? And you know, what is winning for him at this point? Going and knocking out Joshua, which would be unbelievable and unlikely, or doing something no one expects. Taking on this challenge, he's already got everyone's attention. Taking on this challenge, and then going in there and going the distance. Maybe, you know, in a way that no one thought he could.
Even Joe Rogan entered the conversation with his own concerns. He was stunned that Paul had agreed to face Joshua under real professional rules. Rogan remembered how careful Paul's exhibition with an aging Mike Tyson had been, and the leap from that controlled environment to a fully sanctioned bout with Joshua felt enormous. Rogan worried about Paul's safety and emphasized that Joshua had real stakes attached to this fight, and with huge future opportunities on the line, Joshua wouldn't be holding anything back. To Rogan, this wasn't about conspiracy theories or fixed fights. Joshua wouldn't put his career at risk for anything like that.
The chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him. Very upset that this YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like, everyone else he's fought is Dan Askren, who's really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer. He fought Nate Robinson, who was a basketball player. At least he's fought these guys. He fought Anderson Silva, and he dropped Anderson Silva, and Anderson Silva's a really good striker, but also in his 40s, you know, different time. It's, you know, not the same guy he used to be. This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being.
All of these voices have shaped the strange, unpredictable, and polarizing build-up toward one of the most surprising boxing events in recent years. Each perspective reveals a different layer of what makes this fight so complicated. Some see danger, some see opportunity, some see spectacle, and some simply can't believe it's happening at all. Yet the closer the date gets, the more real it becomes. And the more the world wonders what will actually unfold when Jake Paul steps into the ring with Anthony Joshua on December 19th in Miami.